Hey guys, Rohanna here. Welcome back to Align Mental. And today we're going to be doing some yoga lattes because I realized that that's basically my brand. Even when I'm trying to just do yoga, some Pilates will creep in there. When I'm trying to do Pilates, yoga will creep in there. When I'm trying to do weightlifting or cycling or snowboarding, elements of those two will creep in there because, you know, I'm mental about alignment. That's why this channel is called Align Mental. So this class I did the other day with a friend at the park, and she thought it was faya, and I did record it, but it was just too much ambient noise. There was like children screaming in the corner. I was like, kids, I'm trying to record here. Could you not? Obviously, I didn't say that out loud. But all you need today is a mat, and your body and your booty. You can, if you want to try it with ankle weights, but y'all know, like, there's level 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's Rojo level, okay? And I'm not using any weights, so, you know, choose your own adventure, but this class will be on YouTube in perpetuity, so you can try without weights today, and if you want to level up on the next viewing, do so with ankle weights or small hand weights, but all you need is your mat. So let's get started. And today I'm going to try my hand at doing like intervals. I'm going to use an Interval Pro app on my other iPhone that I have. So it's going to be 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds rest, and in those 15 seconds I'm going to attempt to cover the actual instruction of the exercises, okay? So we're going to get started on our mat, the front of the mat, and start in a chair pose. And I'll just show you the exercise first. So we're going to go chair pose, so Utkatasana into a goddess. So plie squat, chair pose, you sink your hips as low as possible, and then alternate. Okay, so we're going to do that for 45 seconds, and starting now. So open to one side, so I like hands to chest, in Utkatasana, hands wide, in goddess. And be mindful here, and stay low. Just take your time. It's harder than it looks, because you have to find your balance with your feet together, and then balance with your feet wide. And open the hips as you go into goddess, and close the hips as you come into chair. So you're opening like a book, and stay low. So you're not coming up and down. It's not a squat. It's basically like a static hold low, and you're just opening the hips. And we got 5 more seconds. And then you can rest or stay in goddess while I explain the next move, which is essentially goddess, but with heel lifts. And you can alternate left and then right, or both up and down slowly. So up fast and down slow. And we're starting, 45 seconds. You can do whatever you want with the hands here. Maybe it's because I'm a yogi. I always find the prayer position very grounding, especially when my balance is challenged, but goddess is traditionally with your hands out like this, or even overhead. Here, keep your tailbone tucked, so you're not sticking your butt out. Tuck your pelvis, stack your rib cage over your hips, and that will give you the balance that you need in order to do the tippy toes, maybe even on both feet simultaneously. And we got 6 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, rest for 15 seconds. Well, you guys rest. I gotta talk and show you the exercise. So we're starting in this side lunge, light on the toes, and then at the top, you bring the feet together. Always light on the left toes. All the weight is in the right foot, okay? And we're starting, and 45 seconds here. And it's not about how many reps you get here. Slow and controlled. Remember I said we're doing work yoga lattes, not power. It's not about the time, it's just force over distance moved. Keeping the knee over the ankle and the hip over the knee. So this, not going into a split. This leg is just squatting straight down. Got 15 more seconds. I like to extend the arms at the top just to help with balance, because your booty's going back, so the hands counteract that. And then you bring your hands together at the top just to bring everything into center. And that's 15 seconds. So take a little break. I don't mind if I do. And then we're going to go to the next side in 7 seconds. If you want to set it up, hold a static Squat and restart. So slow, lower with control. Use the hands to counterbalance the booty. Keep the hips pointing forward so you're not opening the hips. The foot just goes wide, but both hips are still pointing forward. Making sure hip, knee, and ankle are tracking. This leg is just vertical the whole time. 17 seconds. And squeeze the glutes and squeeze the hips a little bit forward, like tuck your tailbone at the top. And we got 6 more seconds. And last one. Okay, back to the right side. Similar move, except we're starting with both feet squatted, both knees bent, and then at the top, you straighten both legs and open up like a jumping jack. Okay, and we're starting now. Again, all the weight is in the right foot. You're only using the tippy toes of that left foot for balance. Hips are not opening, both hip points are pointing forward. And keeping hip over knee, over ankle. And also, keep your hips level. Like as you reach out to the side, don't let your left hip hike up. Just let the leg bone move around in the hip socket. Don't move the actual hip bones. And we got 7 more seconds. And last 15 seconds of rest. I'm going to take a sip of water. Five, 4, get in your squat, tippy toes of the right foot, and 45 seconds of work here. Again, don't open the hips. Squeeze at the top so that you kind of get that posterior pelvic tilt, like your pubic bone going forward. And squat low, push high. Keeping the left hip over the left knee, over the left ankle. Don't let that right hip hike up as you go out to the side. We're here for 7 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay, last move is just a low squat to press. But hang out in this low squat until the rest is done. And I really want you to control it here. So low squat, feet are wide and toes are pointed out. Squeeze at the top, push your hips forward a little bit, and then hands go out. We got 36 more seconds of work here. And I want you to slow it down so you're not just bouncing, especially at the bottom. Maybe just stop as if you could sit here and then stop, squeeze at the top. Give yourself ugly butt at the top. Make your glutes dimple. Make it look ugly when you're doing work. So in the wild, it looks beautiful. Squeeze and lower with control. Squeeze. 2 more. That's good. 15 seconds of rest. So that was the warm-up. Now we're gonna get down and dirty on the ground for core. Heel taps, so knees are bent, and then you're just gonna alternate tapping your ankles. Stay up the whole time. And we're going for 45 seconds. So you want the feet far enough away that it's effort for you to reach for it. Like, actually, imagine like you're reaching for your pinky toes, but the ankle is all you can really muster. And you want to suck in your guts here so that your frontal hip bones and your bottom rib cage are trying to reunite. Not reunite, I guess they were never united, but they're trying to come together. But you gotta hug in your belly in order to facilitate that meeting. 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. And you guys rest. Next one is next level. Like I did this in my core video, my second video on YouTube. So you're gonna come to a reclined crow, knees as high up the arms as possible, and then extend one leg and let it go out while keeping that knee into the other armpit, okay? And we're here for 40 seconds now. So keep one knee in. That's fine if you roll up. It's all about keeping that knee into the armpit, tricep, wherever you got it. And don't lower the leg so much that it comes off. If you gotta be here, that's fine. If you just point it to the sky and bring it back, that's fine too. But if you can, lower it as much as you can. And keep pressing those hands towards the sky as if you were doing the arm balance, the crow arm balance on the ceiling. How much time we got? 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds of work, guys. You can have the head down here if you want, but, and 15 seconds of rest. Oh, hi Dex. Okay, now we're gonna do alternating side planks. So just come into side plank, and then you just go right foot, pivot, left foot, and you can keep the top foot down or stack it. The trick here, so start the work now, it's 40 seconds. The trick here is to stack the hips first. So you're coming into sort of a twist. Once the hips are stacked, that arm will become almost weightless, and then you can just pick it up effortlessly. So stack the hips first. We got 20 more seconds. Go slow here. There's really no rest position in this pose, so you can take your time to find the balance here. Because even in the middle, you are doing a plank, which is hard enough. And then I'm making you twist to the side for some goddamn reason. And that's 45 seconds. Take your break. Next one is going to be same kind of side plank, but on the inside of your foot. So option is bent knee, and then you kick through, tap, kick through, tap, or option to do it straight leg, okay? And here we go, the work has started. We're now at 41 seconds. Kick through, tap, kick through, tap, kick through, tap. 22, 30 more seconds. Again, you can regress if you get tired, so maybe start off strong, straight leg version, and then just level down so you can keep going. Oh my God, when is the hair salon's gonna open? Look at this mop that's on my head. I can't even fucking deal. 7, 6 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lucky you guys get to rest. I gotta show you the next one. Woo, okay. I'm just gonna pause it just to show you guys this one. So, you start laying on your side, and then so keeping your hips facing the right, twist your upper body to the left. So you want your shoulders facing the ceiling, hips facing the wall, and then you twist into a bow pose, and then you lower back down. And we're here 45 seconds. We'll just do 45 seconds on one side, 45 seconds on the other side. If you really can't come up to the boat pose, just hold this, okay? So, we've got 7 more seconds of rest. Take it if you need it. And ready, set, go. And at the bottom here, your legs are hovering and your chest is hovering too. You're not lowering all the way down to the ground. I mean, you can, but then it might even be even harder to get back up. So just hold the side crunch. I guess level up could be straight legs, but that seems unnecessary to me. And of course, the extra level is just having your fat cat just walk around, headbutting you for no reason. That always adds a level of difficulty for me. And we got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 13 seconds of rest. And so if you want to start your side crunch thing here, we've got ready, set, go. You might start to like pivot a bit and do a bit of a clock, turn into a compass, but that's okay. You don't always have to line up with your mat. if you do this video next time, try and start on the goal. You guys keep going. I flicked my timer. There we go. And that's time, or so it says. I touched it with my foot and I fucked everything up. Anyway, let's pause it. If you guys do this video next time, start on the other side is what I was trying to say, and then my foot accidentally split that thing. Okay, this next one, so also need more time to demo it. So this is a hollow body hold. So your feet are floating and your arms are floating, and then you do the splits and come through like this. I don't know what that's called. So we're going hollow body to recline splits, reach through, okay? And we're doing that for 45 seconds. It's hard, it's hard. Again, the lower your legs are, the harder, so you can keep it high. And then here you can maybe bend your legs, or just don't bring them as high. Or keep your head down the whole time. So you can have your whole head down the whole time in hollow body. That's hard enough. Having the head up is next level. 5 more seconds of rest, and then we start. So you can start and 45 seconds. So as your legs open to the side, externally rotate the legs in the feet, the legs in the hip bone, and then as they come together, internally rotate them so that the middle of the feet come together. It's just more ergonomic. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but that's the way a ball and socket joint moves, and your hip is a ball and socket joint. So you want to be ergonomic, don't you? And here, when you're in the splits, try and even lift your tailbone up off the floor. I'm sorry, guys, this is so fucking hard. 2 more seconds, and that's good. Yeah. Woo. Okay, I'm gonna pause that because we need a little break. Okay, we're done with core. I mean, we're never done with core. Your core is involved in everything, but now we're gonna move on to the booty. That booty dough. Okay, so this is sort of my signature move. Excuse me. Stay there, sit down. You know, this thing where I'm the fire hydrant. So you're just gonna do that, but at the bottom here, just cross the top knee over the bottom calf and then kick it out. And this thigh always stays vertical. Don't let your hip fall out to the side. And then when I say kick out to the side, I mean high, as in high off the ground, but also to the front. So it's almost like I'm trying to kick those flowers, like someone's approaching you from there and you want to like kick them, be like, back off, get your own sandwich, okay? You get 10 more seconds of rest, and then we're doing either side, 45 seconds, and so much more. 5 more seconds, get in position, cross that leg, 1, and start. And slow and controlled here. And again here, as the knee crosses, you want to internally rotate at the hip. As you kick side, you want to slightly externally rotate in order to get the foot high. You're not going to get it high if it's still internally already got. Externally rotate slightly to lift the hip. And even though the right leg is moving a lot, the left glute is what's doing most of the work here, right? In trying to keep that left hip from falling to the side, and also to lift that right hip and that right leg. We got 5 more seconds, 5, 4, and done. Switch sides. I'll just pivot so you guys can see me. You guys don't have to pivot. You just switch your legs. Start with the cross just to get the feel, but remember that right femur bone vertical the whole time. And 3, 2, 1, and kick. High and forward. And slow. It's not like a flick. Everything's slow and controlled. As if at the top there you could hold it, right? And take a picture for Instagram. Which is what I love doing, apparently. This is so good for your glute med. Pretty sure anybody that has ever gone to physio for any sort of lower body injury, they're always like, your glute med. Glute med does so much, let me tell you. Not just clamshells. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. We're going back to the other side. This time you put your left elbow down and you open your hips sort of to a 45-degree angle, and you're just going to lift and lower the straight leg there for 45 seconds. And starting now. Again, make sure that left femur bone, the left thigh bone, is vertical, not falling out to the left. Engage your left glute in order to stabilize that. And you can also bring your arms over to the right if you feel like all your weight is kind of going to the left. Just stack your bones appropriately. You want the exercise to be hard, but you want the target muscles to be working. And you don't want to just sink into your joints and just be tugging on your IT band there. And we're here for 8 seconds, and then hold it. I should have changed this timer. That's okay. Hold it up for 15 seconds. And then we're doing more. Don't die on me. You can rest here if you want for 5 seconds, but just hold it up. And then we're going to bring the knee in to tap the elbow, tricep, or shoulder. 45 seconds. Tap it as high as you can. It's a side crunch, so yeah, your obliques will crunch. And then you're still using that glute to keep the leg high. Don't let it fall. Keep pointing it to the sky. Even as it's crunched in, keep the toes up. So this is integrating the side body, the obliques, and the glutes. They do work synergistically. Think about your hip, like your pelvis, the bones of your pelvis. It attaches to your obliques and your abdominal muscles, as well as to all those glute muscles, right? So they control the hips. And we're here for 8 more seconds. Keep that foot high. Get that knee as high as possible. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. You got 15 seconds of rest. So right forearm down. Open the hip about 45 degrees. So it's like we're doing warrior 1 on our elbow, and then lift and lower the leg starting now. Slow and controlled. Make sure that right thigh bone is vertical. Don't let the right hip go off to the right. You can even move your arms over to the left a bit. And the hip is slightly open. So we're gradually opening the hip and getting different parts of that glute med. 20 more seconds, and then we hold for 15, and then we crunch for 45 again. See, you could do this with ankle weights if you want. Be my guest. 7 more seconds here, and then hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it high. Hold it high. 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, 1, and crunch. So bend the knee, open the hip, leg goes high. Toes high, knees high. Toes high, knees high. Again, slow it down here, as if you could stop here, and as if you could stop here, not just swinging. And the waist, the back is not going like that. I don't know what other verb to use. Gyrating, don't gyrate your core. You can crunch in a little bit at the left side, that's the idea, but you want the work in the hip, glutes, not your lower back or whatever. You could even pause here to see if you are doing the work or if you're just using momentum. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 15 seconds of rest for you guys, 15 seconds of me to demo. So now we're on the left hand, and you can kickstand the bottom foot, and you're coming up like this. So now we're using the true side of the glute med here, and lifting and lower for 45, and the work starts now. We're already at 42 seconds. Again, slow it down. Keep externally rotating at that shoulder, both shoulders, so corkscrew your hands out. And again, keep pressing into that glute. The bottom glute is working, so you're not sitting back. You want the hips pushing you forward, and then the side of the glute here is lifting that leg, but that bottom booty is burning though. Holy crap. So we're gonna do again a 15-second hold, and then 45 seconds of the side crunches. It's no joke. This is no fucking joke. Hold it leg high for 15 seconds. You can flex the foot, point the foot, I don't know, pray to whatever God you believe in. Do your thing. 5 more seconds. Keep externally rotating the shoulders, and 45 seconds of crunching the knee to the elbow. Whew. Keep the leg high the whole time. It's actually going to be harder if you let the foot sink, so keep it up. I know that's not what you want to hear. So you want to slightly internally rotate as you reach out so that your knee points forward, and then externally rotate so the knee can come up. 20 seconds. I'm sorry, guys, but also not sorry. 10, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can hold it there, and then kneel. I don't know, that's just some fancy shit. Take a little break. I'm just gonna pause that timer at 8 seconds because I gotta take some water, but get set up on the next side. Plant the hand, kickstand the bottom foot, stack the hips, externally rotate the shoulders, and we're starting 45 seconds. Lift and lower. Proud chest. Keep squeezing the right glute so the hips are actioning forward, and then the left side glute is lifting that hip, that left leg. Again, slow and control, so stop. See if you can stop at the top. Lower with control. Stop at the top. Lower with control. Once you know you got that, like you know you're not just using momentum, you can speed it up a bit. Or you can keep it slow. Slower is always better. 11, 10 more seconds, and then hold it. 2 and 1. Hold it for 15 seconds, and then we're gonna curl, crunch. 12, as high as possible. Oh, that's as high as possible right now, Rohanna. Oh my God, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with me? And crunch, knee to elbow, extend. So externally rotate to crunch, internally rotate to extend. Keep that left foot high. Keep externally rotating the shoulders so you have a proud chest. Holy shit. My ass is burning too. It's burning. Oh my God. So what are your weekend plans, guys? I'm trying to distract you, but I can't even muster a thought right now. You asked me some questions. 5 more seconds. 5 more. 3, 2. See if you can hold it there, and then, oh my God. What the actual fuck is wrong with me? Whew. Just looking at my class plan. Take some water, take a break. I paused the timer because the next one is hard too. I mean, is there any other option? We will do stretching at the end. Okay. I'll just pause that because I want to show you the options. So we're going to do a reverse plank bridge walk thing. So option 1, bent knees, and you can just hold the hips up and march, or you can pulse. So lower, and then as you push up, you march one knee in. The level up is do it with straight legs, and then you lower, march to a bent knee. You can lower and pulse, or straight leg, straight leg. Okay? Okay, so I always recommend starting off strong with the highest level you think you can do, and then you can always level down as you get tired. You still got 10 more seconds of rest here. Well, I do. You can start if you want. I showed you all the options. I'm gonna start off strong, straight leg, 2, 1, and go. The momentum of the lifting leg will kind of give you a little bit of momentum to lift, right? And position your hands in an appropriate position. So not right in line with your hips, you won't be able to get high. It's about there. You'll feel it out. There's no point in me giving you an exact measurement. Find the appropriate place for your hands. Okay, transitioning to straight leg bent knee. We got 7 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay. So we got 2 more exercises and then we're going to stretch. So the next one is, so remember we were doing heel taps on our backs to get the side abs, the obliques. Well, now we're going to do the abs of the back body, like your lower back, and the side. So it's your QL, it's called your quadratus lumborum right here. So you're just going to curl the feet, do a back bend, and reach back and tap our ankles, alternating but slowly so you're not using momentum. And for 45 seconds, so you got 10 seconds of rest left. Here's a kibble, Dexter. 5, 4, find your back bend, and now start to crunch for 45 seconds, alternating slowly. Again, remember the goal is you're trying to reach for the toes, but like the ankle is all you can really muster, really reach. But you're not moving the hips. The hips are anchored. You're just using that back muscle, the QL, to move the torso closer to the hips. 12 more seconds. Keep that chest high. 5, 3, 2, 1. And rest. We got 1 more. Can you guys see me with Dexter there? He's laying on the class plan. Awesome. Okay, option 1 is this is Sphinx pose in yoga. So your elbows, your shoulders are stacked over your elbows at a 90-degree angle. And you're just keeping both hips down. So you alternate lifting one straight leg at the time, keeping your hip bone down. So you're not lifting the leg like so. Squeeze the glute to push the hip into the mat, and then also lift the leg. And the leg is straight. So you're engaging your quad too. So you're gonna do that, alternating legs for 45 seconds, or level up, come into a full-on upward dog. So your hips are lifted off the floor, keep pressing the floor away with your hands, and you're alternating, doing the same thing, but you're just on your hands, okay? And again, see if you can hold for a second, hold for a second. So 45 seconds of that. And you can start, I reset the timer. I got 10 seconds of rest, 5, 4. So pick your poison. I'm going to start off strong, level down if I have to, and start. 45 seconds starts now. So keep externally rotating at the shoulders as well, so you're not letting your shoulders cave in. Have a proud chest. Keep thinking about your collarbone moving forward, and look forward with your eyes. 24 more seconds. So you're not letting your hips lift up ideally. They will lift up a little bit, but again, your glutes, squeeze your hips forward, as well as lift your leg behind you. So if you engage your glute, you should be able to keep the hip down while also lifting the leg. You know what I mean? And of course, your hip flexors have to be nice and flexible. Okay, lay back in child's pose. So that's it for the work, guys. The work is done. We're gonna do some stretching now, but just sit in a child's pose, which is this. You can have your hands overhead or along your sides. I like to kind of sit on them, so put them in between my calves and my hamstrings and then like sit on them. And then we're just gonna do some stretchifying. So we're gonna start in pigeon. I wanna show you guys something about pigeon though. Pigeon is supposed to be a squared hip position, so both hip bones are facing the front of the mat. So if you're doing pigeon like this, and when you're off to the side like that, I don't want that. So let me turn this way. So I want both of your hips, hip bones facing the front of the mat. And so that's in this plane. But there's also the vertical plane. So if one of your hips is sinking to the side and the other one is higher to the sky, I don't want that either. That's where a block can come in handy, or a cushion or anything, and you sit on it. Actually put your thigh on it so they give you, or you can use your actual own muscles to keep you up. This is where I do my pigeon. This glute is on. I'm actually pressing down into the floor slightly with that back foot as well. So my hips are level in the vertical plane and also in the horizontal plane. Okay, and that is pigeon. And you can stay up. Up you get more of a hip flexor stretch in that back of the back leg, or you can sink down. And then sinking down is more to get a stretch in the outer hip of the front leg. And I'm going to show you the next level is mermaid. So you can reach back for that foot with the same, so left arm reaches for left foot, and instead of internally rotating the shoulder and reaching for the outside of the foot, externally rotate so the thumb points up, reach for the inside of the foot. And then your hips might have gone off kilter there. Once you grab the foot, try and bring the hips back. And then if you have your balance there, you can reach your hand to the sky, or you can, if your foot's nice and sweaty and slippery, you can just slip and slide it into the nook of your elbow there. But the whole time, see, my hip is facing forward. I'm not opening to the side. I'm trying to bring my shoulders to face forward too. And then release, okay? Switch sides. So again, if you need something to sit that left thigh on in order to get the hips facing the forward and also level on the same vertical plane and horizontal plane. Do you guys understand that? I talk in physics terms a lot and people don't get it at first, but then I tell them, just let it marinate in your brain. Just let it marinate. And then they do, and then they're like, that's genius, Rohanna. I'm like, I know. Okay, so hips are level on both planes. Stay there. Either reach up with the hand or fold forward. Or option 2, use that hamstring first to bring the foot up. Then externally rotate at the right shoulder to grab the inside of the foot. When you're there, bring your hips back to level and square. You can reach up with the hand, and then you can slip and slide it into the nook. Ooh, this side's tight. And keep the hand back. Oh, this chest does not want to go forward. Come on, chest. Come on, chesticles. And I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that one slide. Right foot up, left foot slide. Okay, so we're going to do Paschimottanasana, which is just straight-legged forward fold. And here I just want to show you that touching your toes is not the be-all and end-all. Look at me, I'm touching my toes. I literally feel nothing because I have long arms. What you want is to close this angle. Look at me, I'm not touching my toes at all. My arms are not anywhere close to my toes. But that's a better stretch than this, right? So think about this angle closing. Doesn't matter where the fuck your hands are, okay? And then open out into your split, whatever that is. Might not be quite 9 and 3 o'clock, whatever it is. I'll show you a little trick here. So to get your feet wide, if you're kind of here, engage your glutes. Externally rotate your feet and engage your glutes to get the feet back, right? And then if you want to fold forward, then you got to internally, look at my toes, they're going in. That will help to tilt my pelvis forward, and then I can go forward. And then I can pancake. Pancakes. Okay, and then as I come up, I will externally, just let my toes naturally come back up to facing the ceiling. So in yoga, we do a lot of this, and a lot of the first one, Paschimottanasana, but there's merit in between. So let's do 10 and 2. Excuse me, Dexter. 10 and 2. We often don't do this. A lot of you, your full split is 10 and 2, I get that, but just bring it back to wherever is a little step below where you were. And here again, as you fold forward, you want to bring the toes slightly internally rotated. That will help just tilt your pelvis forward so that you can come forward and be even hands free. Again, doesn't matter where your hands are, it's more about how low you can get your torso and your belly to your thighs, okay? So that's 10 and 2 for me. And then also neglected is the 1 and 11. So this kind of right here. So you can fold forward there, do your thing. This 1 and 11 is so important for yogis, especially. We do so much stuff like this, like compass pose, you know, it's like that's, or this stuff, you know, leg behind the head. I won't do that right now, but yeah, don't forget about all of the minutes of the clock, hours of the clock, whatever. Okay, and then just do one last stretch, get some arm stretching in it as well. So the feet, don't forget about the feet. So we're just gonna sit on our heels with our toes uncurled, knees and toes are together, and then just, you can have your hands back and lean back, bring the knees up to the chest just to stretch the tops of the feet there. If you don't need the hands, you can just use your core. So your feet are coming up, but if you lean into them rather than lean back, you can balance here if you have that flexibility in your feet. But if you need the hands, by all means, keep it up. That's not our target here. It's not the core. Our target here is getting a stretch in the tops of those feet. And then shake that out a bit and we'll go the other way. So curl the toes now. A lot of people find this really hard, and then some people just find it so easy. I'm one of those people that have always found this easy. I could always just sit on my ankles, no problemo. But if your ankles can't take the weight, just lean forward more as you get better. Bring more and more weight to sit on and weigh them down. And here we're just going to do a shoulder stretch. So right arm over and pull that in. You're not twisting, so keep both shoulder blades on the back, but you just kind of get a stretch in the rear delt here if you can. So right arm over, left arm under, and then eagle the arms, so intertwine them. Then left hand, orient yourself. Your left hand is going to press your right hand to the right. Keep your shoulder blades down, your shoulders away from your ear. Press, and you'll feel a deep stretch in that right side of your neck. And then you can also just lean the head to the left in order to intensify the stretch in the right side of the neck. Holy mother of desk sitters. Yes. Come back center. Feel free to do that whenever you want. Okay, next side. So either just a simple rear delt stretch across the left arm across the body, hold it in with the right hand, or left arm over, right arm under, intertwine the hands. Shoulders down, shoulders away from the ears, and then press the right hand into the left hand so that the hands go to the left, and then right ear to right shoulder. And then back to center and release. And that's it. How long was that? 45 minutes. That's good stuff. That's a good workout. And of course you can replay it, repeat it if you want to try it with ankle weights or arm weights, or you can double it up with something else. I'll try and put something here. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Or YouTube can like recommend shit to you too. So anyway, peace out guys. I love you. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. You guys, like your friends, you guys can do them together, you know? Okay, bye.